The research station was silent. Only the soft hum of old machines filled the air. Ethan sat at his desk, his eyes fixed on the glowing screen in front of him. He was young, curious, and always searching for something greater than himself. Tonight, he worked late, studying strange radio signals from deep space. He thought it would be another boring night, but he was wrong. The monitor beeped, a sharp sound in the quiet room. Ethan frowned, leaned closer, and saw a new signal flashing across the screen. It pulsed like a heartbeat, slow and steady. He tapped a few keys, trying to trace the source. The signal was not random. It had a rhythm, like someone or something was sending a message. He felt a chill down his spine. Could this be alien? He whispered to himself. His voice sounded too loud in the empty station. The lights flickered, once then again. Ethan froze. The air turned heavy, like the room itself was holding its breath. He stood up, backing away from the desk. The sound of the heartbeat signal grew louder, filling his ears. It was no longer just on the monitor. It was inside the room, alive. His own chest thudded faster, matching the strange rhythm. Then it happened. A shimmer of silver light spread across the room. The air cracked like glass breaking without sound. Ethan's eyes widened as a figure stepped out of the light. Tall, graceful, and not human. Her skin glowed faintly under the flickering lamps. Her eyes were bright silver, burning with a strange fire. She looked at him as if she had been waiting forever. Ethan stumbled back, his legs shaking. His mind screamed to run, but his body refused to move. Who are you?" he asked, his voice breaking. The woman tilted her head, her lips curving into a soft smile. "I have crossed galaxies for you," she said. Her voice was low, smooth, and carried an echo, like it was more than one voice speaking. Ethan's mouth went dry. For years, he had dreamed of alien contact. But now that it was real, it was terrifying. The woman moved closer, her steps silent. Ethan felt trapped, caught in her gaze. Her silver eyes glowed brighter as she reached out her hand. He wanted to pull away, but he could not. His body obeyed her presence, not his mind. Her fingers touched his cheek, warm and soft. Ethan's breath caught in his throat. "You are mine now," she whispered. Before he could react, she leaned forward, her lips pressed against his. The kiss was soft, but it burned through him like fire. His heart thundered, his skin tingled, and his thoughts shattered. It was not a normal kiss, it was something more. He felt her inside his mind, her heartbeat mixing with his. His soul trembled as if it had been chained to hers. Ethan gasped when she pulled away. His legs gave out, and he dropped to his knees. His chest heaved, his vision blurred. The woman watched him with calm eyes. "You belong to me now, human," she said. Her voice carried both promise and command. Then the lights exploded in a flash, and everything went black. Darkness swallowed him. Ethan floated in nothingness. His mind screamed questions, but no answers came. Who was she? What did she mean by her mind now? Why him? The last thing he remembered was the taste of fire on his lips and the echo of her words. When he finally opened his eyes again, he was no longer in the station. The room around him was vast, shining with silver walls that pulsed like living skin. Strange symbols glowed in the air, floating like stars. Ethan struggled to sit up, his head spinning. He touched his lips. They still burned from the kiss. His chest felt different, heavier, like his heartbeat was no longer his own. He could feel it, another rhythm inside him. Her rhythm. Then he heard her voice again. Soft, close, and impossible to resist. "You are awake," she said, stepping out of the shadows. It was the same woman, taller than he remembered, her silver eyes glowing like moons. Ethan's fear mixed with something else, something dangerous. At that moment, he understood. His life was no longer his own. The kiss had changed everything. Ethan's eyes flickered open. The light in the room was soft, but not natural. The walls glowed with a silver blue shine, pulsing like veins under skin. It was not metal, not stone, not anything he had ever seen before. He sat up slowly, his head heavy, his lips still burning from the kiss. His heart pounded, but the rhythm was strange. It did not feel like his alone. There was another heartbeat, deep and steady, echoing inside his chest. He pressed a hand against his chest, panic rising. What's happening to me?" he whispered. The room answered with silence, only the low hum of energy filling the air. Ethan's mind screamed that this was wrong, that he needed to escape, but his body felt weak, his veins buzzing with power that did not belong to him. Then she appeared. The alien woman stepped out from the shadows like she had always been there. Tall, graceful, glowing faintly with silver light. Her eyes locked onto him, sharp and unblinking. Ethan froze, unable to look away. Her presence was heavy, like the air bent around her. "You are awake," she said softly. Her voice carried both comfort and command. Ethan's throat tightened. Who are you? Why am I here?" His voice cracked, part fear, part anger. He wanted answers, but deep inside, he feared the truth. The woman moved closer, each step soundless. "My name is Liara," she said, her silver eyes glowing brighter. "Warrior princess of the Zayrath Dominion." She stopped just a few feet away, her gaze never leaving his. "You are mine now, human," she whispered. "The bond is sealed." Ethan's breath caught. "The bond? What are you talking about?" His heart raced. Her heart raced inside him too. Two beats, two lives tangled. Liara touched her chest, then reached out toward him. "You felt it," she said. The kiss was not simple, it was a binding. Our hearts now beat as one, our souls connected. "You cannot leave me, and I cannot leave you." Ethan shook his head, anger flashing in his eyes. No, that's impossible. I'm human. I didn't agree to this." He pushed himself to his feet, stumbling back. But the walls of the room curved endlessly. No doors, no escape. Liara's eyes softened, but her voice remained firm. "You may deny it, but the bond is alive. It will grow stronger each moment, until you understand." Ethan clenched his fists. His whole life, he had dreamed of meeting life beyond Earth. But not like this, not trapped, not claimed. "Why me?" he asked, his voice breaking. "Out of billions of humans, why me?" For the first time, Liara hesitated. Her silver eyes lowered, as if remembering something painful. "You were chosen," she said at last. "I searched for cycles across stars and worlds. I felt your signal, your mind reaching into the void. When you looked at the sky, when you searched for meaning, I heard you. Your soul called to me, and I answered." Ethan's body shook. He wanted to argue, to tell her she was wrong. But in the pit of his chest, he knew it was true. All those lonely nights staring at the stars, asking if someone was out there. Somehow someone had answered, but instead of joy, he felt fear. Liara stepped closer, her voice a whisper. "You are mine now, Ethan, but I am not your enemy." Her hand hovered near his face, not touching, just close enough for him to feel the heat. "With this bond, you share my strength, my power, my life." Her silver eyes gleamed. "Do not fear it. Embrace it." Ethan shook his head violently, backing against the glowing wall. He could feel her emotions pressing into his mind, calm, steady, powerful, and beneath it, something else. Longing, loneliness, a hunger that scared him. "No, this isn't love, this is control," he whispered. "You didn't give me a choice." Liara's eyes darkened, her voice low. "Choice is an illusion. The bond is sealed, it cannot be undone." Her words struck like chains. Ethan's chest tightened, and for the first time he felt it clearly. Her heartbeat inside his, strong and unyielding. His mind trembled with the truth. He was not alone anymore, but he was not free either. The silence stretched, heavy and suffocating. Ethan closed his eyes, his breath shaking. In the dark behind his eyelids, he felt her presence like a shadow. She was inside him now, a part of him, and no matter how much he resisted, he could not escape. One kiss had changed everything. Ethan sat on the edge of the glowing floor, his head in his hands. The room felt larger than before. its walls pulsing with soft light, as if alive. Every breath he took carried her heartbeat with it, strong and steady. It was unbearable, like an echo he could not silence. He looked up at Liara, who stood near the center of the chamber. Her silver eyes followed him with calm patience. She did not blink, she did not frown. She simply watched, as though she already knew every word he would say. "This isn't real," Ethan muttered, his voice rough. "I don't belong here. I'm not yours." The words came out sharp but weak, because deep inside, part of him already felt the truth of her claim. Liara tilted her head, her silver hair glimmering under the strange light. "You fight against what you already know," she said. "The bond is not a chain. It is a union. You feel me inside you, do you not?" Ethan's jaw tightened. He wanted to scream at her, to deny everything. But even as he thought it, a rush of warmth spread through his chest. Not his own feeling, hers. A soft wave of calmness pressed into him, like a hand on his heart. He shivered, shaking his head violently. "Stop that. Get out of my head." Liara stepped closer, her voice low and steady. "I cannot leave your mind, just as you cannot leave mine. This is what the kiss has done. It has tied us soul to soul, thought to thought." Ethan stumbled back, pressing his hands against the wall. The wall pulsed under his palm, glowing brighter where he touched it. It felt alive, as if the ship itself was listening. He swallowed hard, fear tightening his throat. "This isn't love. This is control," he whispered. "You're forcing me to feel what you want me to feel." For the first time, Liara's eyes softened. Her silver glow dimmed slightly. "You think I wish to control you?" she asked quietly. Her voice carried something unexpected, hurt. "If I wanted only control, I would have chosen a soldier, a weapon. But I chose you, Ethan. Not because you are strong, but because you are true." Her words shook him. A flicker of something unfamiliar crossed his chest. Trust, maybe, or sympathy, but he crushed it down. He couldn't let himself believe her. He couldn't let himself fall into this trap. Ethan's thoughts raced. He remembered every warning from human history. Empires, conquerors, tyrants, always promising unity, but taking freedom. Was this any different? An alien princess claiming him with a single kiss, binding him to her will. No, it couldn't be love. But then her voice slid softly into his mind, not through his ears, but directly. "You feel it too," she whispered inside him. "You cannot deny it." Ethan gasped, clutching his head. The voice was hers, but it came from within. He stumbled forward, falling to his knees. His heartbeat thundered, hers matched it. Two rhythms, one life. He could not block her out, no matter how hard he tried. "Please," Ethan whispered, his voice breaking. "Just give me back my life. Let me go." Liara knelt in front of him, her face close to his. Her silver eyes glowed with something strange, something human, longing. "I cannot let you go," she said softly, "because if I lose you, I lose myself. Our bond is not only power, it is need. Without you, I am broken. And without me, you are incomplete." Her words sank into him like fire. Ethan's chest ached, torn between anger and fear. Yet beneath it all, he felt the truth. The bond was real, unbreakable, and no matter how much he resisted, a part of him had already begun to change. He looked into her glowing eyes, and for the first time he wondered, was this truly control? Or was it something far more dangerous, something like love? Ethan woke to the sound of heavy doors sliding open. The chamber around him shifted, the glowing walls pulling apart to reveal a vast arena. The air was colder here, sharp with the smell of metal and smoke. Above him, strange lights hovered like floating suns, casting long shadows across the floor. Two armored guards stepped forward, their bodies tall and scaled, their faces hidden behind masks. Their eyes glowed faint red, unblinking. One of them pointed a weapon like a spear toward Ethan. "Rise, human," the guard hissed. "You are called to the trial." Ethan's heart raced. "The trial?" he asked, his voice cracking. Liara appeared beside him, her silver eyes calm, but her jaw tight with tension. She placed a hand on his shoulder. "They want to test you," she said quietly. "You must show them you are not weak." Ethan stared at her in shock. "Test me? I'm not a soldier. I'm not a fighter. I'll be killed." Liara's grip tightened, her silver eyes burning into his. "You are bound to me, Ethan. Through me, you carry more strength than you know. Do not fight like a human. Fight like one who shares my blood." Before he could answer, the guards dragged him into the arena. The floor beneath his feet was rough and cold. Around him, rows of alien warriors filled the seats, their voices echoing like thunder. They shouted in their strange tongue, some with anger, some with laughter. Ethan felt like prey thrown before predators. At the far side of the arena, a massive figure entered. It was not human, not even close. Its skin was armored like stone, its arms thick as tree trunks. It carried a blade the size of a door. The crowd roared, chanting its name. Ethan's legs nearly gave out. He whispered, "This is suicide." Liara's voice filled his mind, calm and steady. "Breathe, Ethan. Do not see him as your death. See him as your mirror. What he has in strength, you have in bond." Ethan's chest burned, his heartbeat pounding. And beneath it, her heartbeat thudded, steady, guiding him. He clenched his fists, standing straighter. Maybe he couldn't win, but he couldn't die begging. The giant warrior charged, each step shaking the floor. Ethan's instinct screamed at him to run, but something inside him, something alien, rose up. His vision sharpened. His body moved faster than before. He ducked under the first swing of the massive blade, the wind from it almost knocking him over. The crowd gasped, surprised the human was still alive. Ethan stumbled back, his chest heaving. How did I do that?" he whispered. Liara's voice whispered inside him. "The bond feeds you, Ethan. Every strike he makes, I feel it too. Every step you take, I share it. You are not alone. Fight with me." The giant roared and swung again. This time, Ethan raised his hands, expecting to die. But instead, his arms lit with silver light. The blade crashed against his forearm, sparks flying. And to his own shock, he held it back. His muscles burned with strength he never had before. The crowd fell silent, disbelief spreading through them. Ethan pushed forward, his body moving as if guided by invisible hands. He struck the giant's chest with his fist. The sound echoed like thunder. The massive warrior stumbled, crashing to one knee. Gasps and shouts rippled through the arena. Ethan's eyes widened in shock. That wasn't me," he whispered. Liara's voice flowed warmly into his mind. "It was us." The giant roared again, rising, swinging his blade in fury. Ethan's body moved before he could think, twisting, striking, dodging. Every movement flowed like water. He was fighting, but he was not fighting alone. Liara's spirit moved with his, guiding his steps, strengthening his strikes. The bond was alive in every heartbeat. With one final surge, Ethan leapt forward. He grabbed the giant's wrist and twisted, the blade falling to the ground with a heavy clang. With a shout that was not entirely his own, Ethan drove his fist into the giant's chest. The warrior toppled, hitting the ground like thunder. The arena shook with silence. Then, slowly, the crowd erupted in roars, some in fury, some in awe. The human had survived. The human had won. Ethan collapsed to his knees, gasping for air. His hands trembled, his chest burned. But deep inside, he knew that wasn't just him. It was the bond. It was Liara. And without her, he would already be dead. Liara stepped into the arena, silver light shining brighter around her. She looked at him not with pity, but with pride. "You see now," she said softly, her voice carrying through his mind and ears alike. "You are not weak, Ethan. You are mine, and together, nothing can break us." Ethan stared at her, sweat dripping down his face, his heart torn. Part of him wanted to scream, to reject her claim, but another part, the part that had tasted her power, her strength, already knew she was right. The bond was no longer just a kiss. It was survival. The arena still echoed in Ethan's ears. The roar of the crowd, the crash of the fallen giant, the burning rush of power inside his veins. He had survived, but survival was not victory, because now every eye in the Dominion was on him. A human who had no right to win, but did. Later that night, Ethan stood in a wide balcony chamber aboard the alien ship. The stars stretched out before him, endless and cold. He pressed his hands against the railing, his chest still heavy with questions. The silver heartbeat of Liara throbbed inside him, steady and unyielding. He hated it, feared it, yet part of him clung to it. Without it, he would already be dead. Liara appeared behind him, her steps silent. "You did well today," she said softly. "The Dominion will speak of you, Ethan. Some with respect, others with hate." Ethan turned to her, his eyes dark. "I didn't win because of me," he said. "It was you, wasn't it? That strength wasn't mine." Liara's silver eyes glimmered in the starlight. "It was both of us," she replied. "The bond is not control, it is unity. When you fight, I fight. When you bleed, I bleed." Ethan's fists tightened. "I never asked for this," he muttered. Liara's gaze softened. "Yet here you are, standing when all expected you to fall." Before Ethan could answer, the balcony doors slid open with a hiss. Two armored figures entered, cloaked in shadows. Their voices low, their tone sharp. "Princess Liara," one of them said, bowing stiffly, "the council demands your presence." Itansku twisted. The way they looked at him, cold, calculating. He knew the trial was not the end, but the beginning. When the guards left, Liara's expression darkened. She walked closer, lowering her voice. "You must understand, Ethan," she said. "By kissing you, by bonding with you, I broke the law of my people. Humans are seen as lesser, unworthy of power. But I defied them. I chose you." Ethan's eyes widened. "So, this isn't just about us?" Liara nodded slowly. "It is about the throne, about war, about rebellion. By binding myself to you, I have made enemies among my own blood." The words hit Ethan like a stone. He thought this was only about control, about one alien claiming him. But now he saw the truth. He was in the middle of a storm much larger than himself. "You mean, they'll come after you?" he whispered. Her silver eyes narrowed. "They will come after both of us. Already there are whispers. Some call me traitor. Others say I have brought shame to the Dominion. But worse, there are those who see you not as weakness, but as threat." Ethan's chest tightened. "Threat? I'm just a human." Liara stepped closer, her hand brushing against his. "Not just human. You carry my bond, my power, my claim. That makes you dangerous in their eyes." A silence stretched between them, heavy and sharp. Ethan could feel her emotions bleeding into him through the bond. Fear, anger, and something deeper. It was not just politics, not just rebellion. She truly cared what happened to him. But was it love? Or was it the bond forcing her heart into his? Before he could ask, the wall behind them flickered with light. A projection appeared, an alien figure cloaked in shadows, voice distorted. "Princess," the figure said, "you play a dangerous game. The council watches, and the throne grows restless. You think binding yourself to a human will give you strength, but it will give you nothing but death. Break the bond, or be broken yourself." The projection vanished as quickly as it appeared. Ethan's breath caught. "That was a threat," he said, his voice shaking. Liara's eyes burned silver, sharper than before. "No," she said, her tone cold as steel. "That was a warning." Ethan stepped back, his heart racing. He had thought survival in the arena was the hardest part, but now he understood. The real danger wasn't the fight. It was the game of power, of shadows and whispers. And he was no longer a bystander. He was the center of it. Liara moved closer, her voice low, almost a whisper. "They will come for us, Ethan. They will try to tear us apart. But remember this." Her silver eyes locked on his, burning into him. "You are mine, and I will not let them take you." Ethan swallowed hard. Her words should have felt like chains. But instead, for the first time, they felt like a shield. Yet deep inside, he could not stop asking himself, Was this love? Or was it still control, just wrapped in silver fire? The stars outside burned cold and endless. And somewhere in that darkness, enemies were already moving. Betrayal and choice. The silence of the ship was heavy. Ethan lay awake on the strange silver bed, staring at the living ceiling above him. The stars outside called to him, but he no longer saw freedom in them. Only chains. Chains of a kiss, chains of a bond, chains of a destiny he never chose. Liara stood near the door, her armor half removed, her hair glowing faintly in the dark. She looked tired, though she would never admit it. Her voice slipped softly into his mind. "You should rest, Ethan." But Ethan only shook his head, whispering back aloud, "How can I rest when every corner of this ship wants me dead?" Liara's silver eyes dimmed. "You are not wrong," she said. The whispers grow louder. The council grows impatient. Before Ethan could reply, the door hissed open. A guard stepped inside, bowing low. "Princess," he said, his voice steady. "The council requests your presence at once." Alone. Ethan sat up sharply, his instincts screaming. Something felt wrong. Liara glanced at him, then back at the guard. "Tell the council I will come when I choose," she answered coldly. But the guard's voice lowered, urgent. "It concerns the human." The words sliced through the air. Ethan felt his heartbeat tighten against hers. Liara's eyes narrowed. "Explain," she demanded, but the guard bowed again. "I cannot speak more here. Only the council may reveal what must be said." Liara hesitated, her hand twitching near the blade at her side. Ethan stepped forward, his voice sharp. "Don't go, Liara. It's a trap." The bond trembled with his fear, surging into her chest. She stiffened, her jaw tightening. But at last she said, "I will not be long." She left, and the door sealed shut. Ethan was alone. The silence pressed on him heavier than before. Minutes stretched like hours. Then suddenly, the wall behind him split open, and two shadows entered. Not guards, assassins, their eyes burning red, their blades glinting with poison. Ethan stumbled back. His chest pounded, but Liara's heartbeat was distant, too far to help. "You shouldn't exist," one of the assassins hissed. "The bond is poison to our bloodline. Better you die now, before the princess damns us all." Ethan's mouth went dry. He had no weapon, no armor, only the bond inside him. The assassins lunged, fast and merciless. Ethan raised his arms, expecting to die, but silver fire exploded from his hands, knocking them back. The assassins crashed into the wall, stunned. Ethan gasped, trembling, staring at his glowing palms. He had no idea how he did that. Then the door burst open. Liara stormed in, her eyes blazing like moons. Her blade sang through the air, cutting down one assassin in a single strike. The other tried to rise, but she pressed her sword against his throat. "Who sent you?" she demanded. The assassin only laughed, his blood dripping onto the floor. "Not all betrayals come from shadows, princess," he hissed. "Sometimes they come from those closest to you." Before she could strike him, he slit his own throat with a hidden blade. Blood pooled at her feet, the glow of his eyes fading. The room fell into silence again, heavy and sharp. Ethan's voice shook. "They knew, Liara. They knew exactly where I was. This isn't just whispers anymore. Someone close to you wants me dead." Liara turned to him, her silver eyes burning. Her anger flickered into something more painful. Fear. "I swore to protect you," she whispered. "But now I see. The council does not simply hate you. They want me to choose." Ethan's chest tightened. "Choose?" he asked. Liara stepped closer, her voice low, shaking with fury. "They will force me to prove my loyalty by killing you." The words froze Ethan in place. He felt his heart hammer, hers pounding in sync. His throat tightened. "So that's it then? Either you kill me, or they kill us both." Liara gripped his shoulders, her silver light blazing. "I will never let them take you," she said fiercely. Her voice shook the bond inside him. "I defied them once. I will defy them again, even if it means war." even if it means exile. But Ethan's eyes filled with doubt. Her words were fire, but could fire alone stop an empire? He wanted to believe her. He wanted to trust her. But deep inside, one question burned hotter than all the rest. When the moment came, would Liara choose him, or her people? The great hall of the Dominion Council was vast. Silver pillars rose like spears into the ceiling, glowing with cold fire. Around the circle, the high lords of the Dominion sat upon thrones of stone and steel. Their eyes burned red, fixed on the two figures standing in the center of the floor. Liara, silver light blazing around her, and Ethan, human but bound, his chest alive with the pulse of her heartbeat. The air was heavy with judgment. One voice rang out from the thrones, sharp and merciless. "Princess Liara, you have broken the law of our people. You bonded with a lesser being. You brought shame to the throne. Now prove your loyalty." A blade was cast onto the floor, its edge glowing red-hot. The order was simple: kill the human, kill Ethan, and reclaim her honor. The hall fell into silence. Ethan's throat tightened, his mind screaming. He wanted to shout at them, to curse, to run, but his legs refused to move. The bond held him in place. Her heartbeat pounded in his chest. Faster, harder, as if she too could not breathe. Liara's hand hovered above the blade. Her silver eyes burned, not with fear, but with fire. She looked at Ethan, and he felt her thoughts inside him. "They will not take you from me." But another voice followed, darker. "If you defy them, we both die here." Ethan swallowed hard, whispering under his breath, "Liara, don't do this for me. I'm not worth a war." Her eyes snapped to his. "You are worth everything," she whispered back. Then, in one swift motion, she turned, not toward him but toward the thrones, and raised the blade high. Gasps filled the hall. The lords rose to their feet, weapons humming. But Liara's voice cut through the chaos, sharp as the edge of her sword. "No more chains," she cried, her silver aura blazing like a sun. "This bond is not weakness. It is strength, and I will not kill the man who carries half my soul." The hall erupted in fury. The lords shouted commands, guards rushed forward. But Ethan felt it, power surging through him. Not just hers, not just his. Together, the bond exploded like lightning, silver light wrapping around them both. The first wave of guards struck, their spears flashing red. Ethan's body moved before he thought, his fists glowing. Every strike he made, Liara's blade followed. Every cut she landed, his strength fueled it. They fought not as two, but as one, human and alien, heart and heart. The hall shook with their defiance. A high lord shouted, his voice like thunder, "Traitor, you doom us all." But Ethan's voice rang out, louder than he thought possible. "No, she saved me, and I will save her." Their enemies fell, one after another, but the council's power was great. The chamber burned with red fire, shadows clawing at the walls. Liara's silver light dimmed, her strength draining. Ethan caught her before she fell, his chest heaving. "We can't win this," he gasped. But she shook her head, her silver eyes fierce even in weakness. "No, Ethan, we can't win. We can only change." Together, they pressed their hands to the floor. The bond surged, brighter than ever before. Silver and human light tore through the hall. Pillars cracked, thrones crumbled. The Dominion Council screamed as their chamber collapsed in fire and light. When the dust settled, silence fell. The great hall was in ruins. The council was broken, scattered, fleeing into the shadows. Ethan stood with Liara at the center of the wreckage, her arm wrapped around his, her chest rising with tired breaths. "You're mine now, human," she whispered, her voice low but steady. "Not as prisoner, not as slave, but as bond, as equal, as fire against fire." Ethan stared at her, his chest still glowing with her heartbeat. He could not tell if this was love or destiny, but he knew one truth. The kiss had chained him, and it had freed him, all at once. Together, they looked out into the stars, not as captor and captive, but as something new, something dangerous, something the galaxy would never forget. For one kiss had changed everything, and Conquest had only just begun.